Hey there, everyone. Jim here, the father of Fantasy for the Ages, the father and son show where Zach, the son,
That's me.
Jim, yeah, the father, get together and talk about fantasy, science fiction, and other nerdy stuff that we enjoy. We are here with you today for one of our brief book blast episodes, as Zach is going to talk about a couple of books that he's read and I have not. So if you haven't read these yet, you are safe. This is spoiler-lite. He's not going to ruin it. This is just his thoughts and reactions after reading what books, Zach?
Caine Black Knife and Caine's Law. Together, the third act in the Acts of Caine.
So this wraps up the arc of the Acts of Caine?
Yeah, I mean, like, you could Sorry.
And Zach dies on
Sorry,
screen.
I'm
Sorry,
dying.
guys. Yeah, a little drama for you.
No, you could continue and have more story from here, but it doesn't really seem necessary. This is a good point to be like, it's done.
And how long ago? I mean, is it like, oh, there could be another one dropping anytime, or have these been out a while?
That's a great question. I think they've been out a little while, but not like the 80s. It's way more recent than that.
Okay. These books
I would
written
have
by
to look it
Matthew
up.
Stover. He is still an active author out here in fantasy, doing other things. So if he wanted to write more, he could,
Oh, yeah.
but we haven't seen anything else. What are your thoughts?
So I liked it on balance. It's important to me to mention that I'm talking about these two books as one story.
You said
They
add
are
3.
exactly. They are different. They are their own separate entities, but they really don't feel complete without the other. The first one is really a good classic story in the style of Caine and that world and fantasy and that stuff. And the second one here, Caine's Law, that's really more your existential things get weird. It is
Oh,
not a linear story. It is
existential. Ooh. Are we going
there's
Witcher? Jumping
there's a
around?
disclaimer at the beginning that might say that events in the book happen in various orders or don't happen or happen then are unhappened. And so it's a little funky, a little weird, and I could see people calling it out for being pretentious. I didn't find it that way. Maybe that's because I followed it.
It worked for you. Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's not my highlight of the series, but it is a worthy spot to be like, okay, these two books together. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I have no regrets.
You said more could be written, and we won't probe into that more. I just want to ask, if nothing else is written, was this a satisfying ending for you?
Yes and no, which is to
That's a
say,
waffle answer.
it is a satisfying end. I think I liked where it ended at the end of book 2 better in terms of satisfaction. The
Hmm.
story is more complete and more finished here, but I just really liked the second book.
So almost like you didn't need this. It could have ended there, and you would have been happy.
Look, books 3 and 4 here, they're good, but it was a really tough act to follow when book 2 is currently my number 1 book of the year so far.
Ah, okay, okay. This is, I have a whole little episode on the pressure of ending a series well, and you're giving justification for why some authors stress. If they hit a high point, sometimes you can't go higher. You can just do all right.
Now, ultimately, to me, whether this is a success or a failure really hinges on, did you get fed up with the weirdness of it and get lost? If you follow, you'll enjoy it. If you don't, you won't. But I don't blame you for giving up on it. It's okay. It's weird.
Now, I haven't read this at all yet, but I've seen comments out in the fandom, and your take on this, Zach, is not uncommon in that people tend to like book 2 more than 3 and 4. You're not a complete oddity, apparently. You kind of meshing along with
Yeah.
many other fans.
It's not that I didn't like them, I just liked other things better.
Okay. I'll ask you one last time, though. Now that you've read the whole thing, would you still recommend this series to me? It's on my TBR. Should it still stay on my TBR?
Yeah, though I would be very interested to see whether or not you actually like the fourth book, because I know you had a hard time following Tenet, the movie.
That was more your mother. I still need to get back and finish that. I was liking it.
So there's hope.
All right. There you got it, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.